All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week number 134. My name is Brian McLogan, and this is Open Live Q&A, where I go ahead and take your questions. One thing I wanted to kind of update and change you guys, or kind of update on this, is I wanted to kind of move around my studio, kind of mix it up. We're kind of getting into a brand new year, and I was like, well, why not do something a little bit different and kind of redo the little background? Not obviously it's very much the same, but I did kind of bring it up a little bit closer to me, and I did kind of tilt it a little bit on the corner. So I with doing that, I kind of messed up everything with my clock and everything, as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead and start working on that and adjusting it for the next couple weeks. But hopefully, you guys will enjoy those kind of changes. And then also, I wanted to also, kind of go back into, like, I think addressing some, just kind of like some major, not some major questions, but I think like a topic for each and every week as we get in through this live stream. So I kind of went away from it because I think sometimes it kind of got difficult for me formatting all my questions. So one thing I was thinking about, I'm like, why don't I just make a post on my community post? And therefore, if you guys have like a general question, like a lot of you guys, when you get on the chat, you ask me a question. You're like, hey, what was it like for you in high school? Or what's your favorite math class? Or I don't know, all one of those like kind of questions. So what I would like to be able to do is give this a shot and say, hey, let's go ahead and see what you guys might be interested in, and maybe ask me a question in there, and that will kind of be my name of the live stream until name of the live stream for that given week. And so obviously we'll still go ahead and get into questions that we'll still get into questions that you guys have for the chat, and then obviously we'll get into math questions as we get into the school year. So anyways, if you do have questions, you can definitely go and submit them at brianmclogan.com/Q&A. You can also go ahead and submit them on in the chat. But again, like for anything like that's very math related and everything like that, I usually always do kind of prefer that that you guys. I do always kind of prefer that you guys just kind of keep them into the math thing, because it's a lot easier for me to be able to kind of review them and review that content, and then have time to be able to obviously get it into and on the chat. So that is but anyways, if you guys have any questions in from there, I'm happy to be able to do it. And I know that the school year is right around the corner for many of you, and some of you, if you're doing like year-long schooling, you might have already started. So that's pretty exciting, I think, of itself, and definitely have some fun things that I am looking into wanting to do for this upcoming year. So I just got back from Dallas, and so I'm very tired at the moment. But I had to go live because obviously I love going live on Sunday night at 9 p.m. And but yeah, there's so a couple things I wanted to kind of let you guys know about. I did kind of make a post earlier. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday, on my chat, that I'd be love to kind of hear a little bit more from you guys regarding like some kind of tutoring. I'll talk a little bit more about it later, and but I'll talk about it a little bit more, kind of later as I get into it. But I did want to kind of get a little bit more of your, kind of feeler in from on there. So, um, and what else was I going to say? I had something else I was going to. Yeah, so I'll talk about that in just a second. But I did want to say hey to Justin and Nick and Akmal Reda. Good to have you on. Sarance, how do you factor with the value greater than one? Okay, I will be able to do a question like that, because actually there was only a couple questions that I had, and what was the one question? One of them I did last week. The other one was way more kind of advanced. It would take me to kind of like look through at least my explanation. So I was like, it's not a great question for me to go through. And then the third one is actually, I'll have it. I think I remember it actually. So I think we should be good. I'll actually go ahead and talk about that one as well, but at least a way to be able to do that. So g of x equals, let me just write f2 to the x. I think it was f of x equals a 5x. Crap, what was that question? Now I'm like really mad. I hope I didn't delete it. I probably did. No, I think it's still there. Let me go and see real quick. Yeah, 5x. Okay, cool. All right. So, and yeah, good. Can you tell me about a class called Advanced Topics for Math? Yes, I can. And Zach, so happy to be able to help you out. And you're very well, Nick. Thanks for hopping in. Well, you're very welcome, Veggie. So happy to be able to be there for you. And so yeah, Advanced Topics. I think Advanced Topics is a really cool class. I actually had a really lot of fun time speaking with it. It's basically like, it's kind of like it's just a smorgasbord of topics, right? So a lot of it is going to deal with like some discrete mathematics. So what that's going to mean is not you're dealing with like a lot of like continuous functions. So you're going to have some probability. You're going to probably maybe have some graph theory, like probability statistics. If you will get into maybe like some systems of equations and linear programming. You probably will maybe deal with like maybe some functions or poly, from on there. I don't really remember actually. I think I still have an advanced topics book. Where was that advanced topics book? I used to have it, but yeah, I mean, it's just hitting on a lot of topics to kind of give you a really rounded kind of education as you're moving on. So um, I enjoyed it as a course to teach, and but it's eh, it's kind of hard to. Oh, there it is, mathematical ideas. That was the course that I took. We call it advanced topics, just mathematical ideas from on there. So, but yeah, it's going to take a lot of algebra two stuff, and then it's also some stuff that you take away from the maybe some your geometry. Sometimes I think I remember there was some trig that we did inside there. So you'll have like some geometry, some algebra one, some algebra two topics. So it's really just kind of hitting on some of those important things that I think would just give you a good, well-rounded education from there. You made Brian your teacher. Yeah. Jesus, your inspiration. Well, thank you so much. I would just say difference between college algebra and algebra 2. From my opinion, I only taught algebra 2. I never actually took it as a student because we had integrated math when I was in school. But I did take college algebra. And from difference, I would say from at least teaching college algebra to from I'm sorry, from taking college algebra to teaching algebra 2, college algebra was much more, we didn't cover as many topics, like not as topics, but as like wide of a range of like material, but we did like reinforce with a lot of examples where I feel like in algebra 2, when I was teaching algebra 2, it was like we're teaching like one topic, one chapter, and then it's like we're just moving on. Like I remember at the end of the year, it's like we've just covered so much material. It was like very overwhelming for me as a teacher, and I knew as for like my students as well. Like we just covered so much content, whereas like in college algebra we would go deeper on the material. I remember like dealing with each and every function, and then we went really deep. So that was kind of my opinion, like the difference between those two from there. Well, hey Avery, good to have you on. And awesome. Can you tell about the topics? Yeah. All right. And we got to for those questions. Awesome. Sweetness. Okay. So I do have a couple questions I did want to get into, but I did want to, oh, I totally forgot. Okay. So cool thing that we did last week, and I'm going to say probably in the next, I don't know, 5 minutes. What I'll do is I'll do a little giveaway, and then I am going to do a little giveaway. And then after on the giveaway, what I'm going to do is we'll do a giveaway and then we'll go over some of the math questions. So again, if you do have a math question, go to brianmclogan.com/Q&A, and hopefully let's go and check. I don't think there's anything else added. Oh, there was an extra question. So let's go and see if we get added to that. But I will do a giveaway. So if you guys remember last week, I gave away a tutoring, a free tutoring, and that's something I want to do throughout this week. So there's kind of two caveats to this. So one thing I want to do is, and so anyways, if you just make a comment on my last video, obviously make a good, nice comment, but I'm not gonna filter it for anything else. If you just want to make a comment on my last published video, which was on Friday, I think it was like my tips video for you guys. So, and obviously it'd be great if you wanted to watch it and let me know how it goes. But if what I'll do is I'm going to take the comments that come from that video on there. Okay, so if you guys want to go ahead and put it, if you want to some free tutoring by me, then go ahead and make a comment on that video, and then I will give away a 30-minute tutoring session. In addition to that, if any of you guys were on my channel, I wanted to kind of make this announcement as well that so one thing I'm looking into doing, and feel free to add into the chat because I am reading you're reading your messages, but it is something that I really wanted to hear. So I want to kind of get a feel, because one thing I was thinking about doing was taking a couple students, 3 to 4, and really kind of like just having tutoring sessions throughout the year and kind of like guiding them throughout like the journey as they go through the school year. So I know the school year is upon us. I know I get reached out all the time for students needing tutoring, but here's the problem. I don't want to charge for my services. So I'm not going to be taking any money. So tutoring would be something exactly free. But the problem is, though, I don't want to just be tutoring just for the sake of tutoring. I want to be able to kind of capture this and, really kind of be able to kind of go through this whole experience. So it is going to be something that it's like a requirement to like kind of go throughout the year. It is something that I also want to record and everything, and which I know is not going to be comfortable for a lot of people. So, just feel free. Like it is going to be something that's going to be an application kind of based, because obviously I know a lot of people are not going to be interested in it, and there'll be, hopefully a lot of people that would be interested in it. But if you have any thoughts or opinions or anything like that, if you think it's maybe a good idea, maybe a bad idea, or anything else, feel free to add it into the chat. I am more than happy, or actually, I'm not more than happy. I am really happy to hear some of your thoughts. And so I don't have anything solidified. I'm really just kind of taking in some thoughts of what I want to do for on that. Also, I did want to let you guys know that I do have for those of you that are taking pre-calculus, I do have my pre-calculus course that I will be probably releasing probably for next week. I'm hoping at least have something ready for you guys to go to get you guys ready and started for that. So if you are taking pre-calculus then I have a lot of goodies for you. So obviously I have a ton of content that's free. You don't have to purchase any course or take anything that I have. But obviously if you are taking it on your own in homeschool, or if you are kind of worried about, the last couple of years, how those have been with COVID, that you're not going to be prepared, or you really just want to make sure you have a safeguard to make sure you get an A, then yeah, my course might be something you'd be interested in. So I'll have all those details for you guys coming up next week. And yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. Timmy says, how do you recommend studying for the ACT, SAT for transfer? Not really sure what for transfer means, but basically my best advice, or not my best, I guess I'd say my best advice, but the advice that I give for students over and over again when studying for the ACT or SAT is you just got to do practice problems. You got to get used to how those problems are structured, how they're worded on those tests, and you got to practice like the math that's going to be on there, right? So because not everything that's on those tests is like everything that translates to what you've learned in, your classes. So you want to make sure that you are, they only cover so many topics in math, right? So when you're practicing, those problems, like I said, there's online tests, there's test booklets. Like I would just find as many resources as you can that you can complete and just go for it. I can do this on my own. Well, awesome. I would definitely go for it. And then Ethan, I had okay, there. Okay. Yeah, I remember I saw your question, but I wasn't able to get to it. Hey, Miss Gillian, would you say for college math courses, doing as many practice problems as possible will do more than just note taking? Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a two-edged sword. Like you got to take notes, you got to understand the concepts, but you also got to put it into action as well, right? So, that you got to do. You just can't like sit there and watching at the lecture passively. So you got to make sure you're putting into work from on there. Do you have any recommendations or tips for Algebra 1? No, I mean, no, I think my tips and everything for Algebra 1 is going to be the same for Algebra 2, which is going to be the same for geometry, calculus, any other class. Like just do the work. You got to make sure you're doing the work. If you start falling behind, like make sure you're asking questions. Make sure you're getting help when you need help. And I mean, I don't think there's anything specifically I can tell you for Algebra 1 that I would tell you for any other class. I'm going into school, which requires volunteer hours to graduate. I love math and computer science. Where do you think is a good place to volunteer? Huh. I mean, this is kind of more of my personal one. Like, I always just like to volunteer, like where I feel like I'm like my volunteer hours are really going to be needed. I've volunteered at a lot of places, and some of that where it's like you feel really gratified for like like what you were doing. And I've also volunteered at places where it's just like exactly that, like they're just signing a piece of paper to give you your hours. I understand there's a time and a place for kind of each one of those, depending on the situation and everything that you're looking for. But to be honest, I would just kind of reach out and just kind of I mean, there's a ton of amazing organizations that need volunteers, and maybe some of the things that they're going to be doing excite you. Maybe some of the things that they're doing do not excite you. And I just, keep on maybe looking around and find something that you really feel like that you're really going to feel proud and enjoy, helping out and putting in those hours. Because I mean, that's kind of the point of doing the volunteer hours, not just to, you know, benefit on your own, for getting those hours checked off and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's just kind of my personal opinion from having done volunteer hours where I enjoyed it and where I didn't enjoy it. I do think if you can find some kind of organization, it might be something that you'd be, you know, willing to do. Like, hey, I would actually volunteer my time without actually having to do it for volunteer hours, right? I mean, that's the kind of place you want to find that you can, and community or, program that you can support. Yeah, I mean, basically, it does go a lot deeper into all those Algebra 1 topics. But then, yeah, we do add more additional topics, right? So we are going to get into, every Algebra 2 course is going to be a little bit different. But yeah, a lot of the topics we're going to go deeper into. And then we will get into, some additional topics like exponential logarithms, sequences and series. You can get into a lot of, sometimes we go into trig, and we're going to go much deeper into um, radicals and rational expressions and stuff like that. So there, I mean, that's just a quick little like summary of a lot of the stuff that you will see. All right, I think. Blair, thank you for your video. Well, awesome, congratulations, Blair. And quite scared. Do you think I should study more? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Thank you very much. I just passed my GO. I mean, I think it's awesome. I mean, you passed, so I'm not sure what you need to be studying more. I mean, maybe if you just have science left. I mean, I always feel like it's great to be walking into studying like I have studied as much as I possibly can. Like I am ready for this. Like give me that test. Put that test in front of me and I am ready to go. Like I think that's a great way to be taking a test. So if you feel like you need to do a little bit more studying for that, then maybe you need to do a little more studying for that. There you go. See, look at there we go. Tammy has some good things. I plan to go back to college to have class. I use IXL to brush up on algebra. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Michael. I'm happy to help. Yeah, I mean, it all depends. It's very, very relative on how difficult it's going to be from on there. Okay, let's go ahead and get a tutoring. So if you, I totally forgot to open up my channel. So hopefully, I will get in. I totally forgot to get the link. I was like, oh crap, I actually need to get the link for on this. And then I'll go and finish up some questions for you guys. And just a reminder, if you do have a math question before I go and get to that, feel free guys to go ahead and check out. What am I done? If you do have a question you want me to answer by tonight, I'll try to do my best. Then go to the link brianmccullough.com/Q&A. And then otherwise, let's get in this. Okay, so I'll still do it. I'll put it in here. I don't like doing this for you guys because I want you to actually go to the link anyways. Find it yourself, but there we go. Anyways, I don't think we have many comments. Let's see how many comments you guys are battling for those of you that are looking for tutoring. Yeah, I don't know. Not too bad. Oh, spam. But anyways, so the way that this tutoring kind of works anyways, for you guys is that basically I just kind of give you guys a Calendly link, and then we just kind of connect our schedules, and yeah, you can just get a free 30-minute tutoring. Like, and if you want it, if you don't want it, this isn't like you have to be recorded or anything like that. But I will definitely kind of ask you some questions and stuff like that on there. So, anyways, if you're going there, just make sure you guys put a comment on there because I am now going to switch over. Let me actually get. I don't know why I should. There. Oops. All right, let's get this done. There we go. All right, and then sweet. All right. Are you guys ready? I am ready for back to school. Anything goes. Question: Is it hard for students to recover from cheating? Hold on a second. We'll get to it. Again, this is for the tutoring, and we have 8 comments. Awesome. You guys have only got 8 comments. Mytholic. Hey, we just point out that happened to be put 2 numbers. Well, there you go. Well, you won. I don't know who you're talking to, but again, guess what? You are the winner. So if you want to do tutoring and hopefully you get on the chat, I will definitely go ahead and reach out to you on the chat. I'm actually going to do that right now before I forget, because I forgot to do the last one, but thankfully the student reached out to me very quickly. So awesome. Oh, you got 2 comments. Yes. Tutoring. Check my live stream. So anyways, what I wanted to mention with you on that is, if you are watching this on the live stream, then go ahead and check out, just go and reach out to me either on Discord, or you can also DM me on Instagram at Brian McLogan, BrianMcLogan.com. Okay. Or not BrianMcLogan.com, but Brian McLogan on Instagram. Let's go through a couple quick little questions. Let me get to that. Let's go and switch this up. Enter full screen. I'll go to there. I'm done with these questions. If you didn't already join the Discord, then you are too late. Just joking, but you definitely should already join it. Would the tutoring be during the school year or before it or starts? Justin, what are you referring to? Are you referring to the tutoring that I was talking about throughout the year, or just like my weekly free tutoring sessions? Which one are you kind of referring to? Let me know about that. And yeah, I think my class, or my old school, goes back in like 2 more weeks. So we're coming up to that time frame for students coming back. So yeah, so it's usually like the 2nd week in August. So I think maybe teachers. I don't know. My daughter goes back a little bit differently. I'm assuming all the schools go back around the same time. So my I think in like 2 weeks the teachers, not this week, but like next week the teachers go back. No, that has to be. I don't know. I'm thinking like 2 weeks teachers are going back, and then students. I would have to go through your question. So I'll save you the pain of having to go through it. I would actually have to like sit down and look through that question. It's not something I'm going to be able to go through on the live stream. So I apologize, Akmal, for that. I'll definitely go and do it on a live stream. So I'll probably do a live stream. Actually, I'll probably do a live stream and a standalone video. So you're definitely going to know about it. I mean, I'm assuming you're already subscribed and following along my channel. So it's not anything I'm going to be doing like tomorrow or like this week. So right now I'm really in kind of just beginning stages. And for those of you that are on this live stream, like you're just kind of getting a first kind of look. So I'm really just I want to spend some time talking to students. I think the weirdest thing about this now is like having people on my channel, which I've never done before. It's always just been me. Obviously you get those random students inside my classroom if you watch some of those videos. But yeah, I really just kind of feel like I need to, I want to change things up, and I really want to kind of draw, I tell you guys always I think it's really important that, I tell my story, because, I think for a lot of students, they can relate to that as far as like me struggling with math. Math was not always easy with me, and blah, blah, blah. But in the same respect, like I'm still a teacher. I still like did things, I still have a degree. I still taught math. Like math comes relatively basic, not all math questions, but a lot of them, like that I've been teaching, like comes easier to me now. So I think it's just I think it'd just be helpful for a lot of students to kind of see some different students going throughout the year. And I want to kind of just showcase some students and help them out. And I think, I mean, it's legit tutoring. Like it's not just like interview, like it'd be me tutoring you, and, and I'd be posting that tutoring session, like as far as me going up there and like explaining things. So, yeah, so I mean, I think it's going to bring value to students, but I also want, other people to kind of be not so much inspired, but just to kind of feel a lot that they're also like not alone in their kind of journey of, with math and everything like that. So all the kids you have are in this live stream. Yes, basically all my kids are you guys are like my new students. Yes. I don't know what you're taking. I'm assuming you're taking geometry. But yeah, I would just kind of go back through algebra 1. I'm assuming if you're taking geometry, then go back through algebra 1 topics material. Don't worry. I mean, your teacher is going to teach you geometry, but yeah, I would just kind of go through I'm kind of new to this channel. Is there videos for grade 12 advanced functions and calculus and vectors grade 12 class? Yes, there is. So the best way to be able to get to my videos at the moment, hopefully my chat's still going through. The best way to get to my videos would be to go to the playlist tab. And one thing I am doing that's going to be a little bit better is, one thing I'm going to be doing. So the first two terms, when we multiply that, that's going to give us that ax squared. Okay, when you multiply those first two terms, that's going to give you ax squared. When you multiply the last two terms, right, that's going to give you your c. Okay, so the interesting thing, what's really kind of going on, and actually let me kind of do it this way. The hard thing is when I multiply my last two terms, right, that gives you my c. So the difficult thing is when I do my bx, my inner and my outer, these two combined is what's going to give me the bx. Okay. So what's happening is we're multiplying these two terms and then we're combining them, and that's how we're going to get the bx. So there's kind of a lot of moving parts. It gets very difficult for a lot of students to kind of go through that. So let me just kind of go through a couple tips that I can go through with you. And I'm just going to do some basic problems here in a second. So let's just do this 2x squared plus a 3x plus 2. Okay. And then let's do a 2x squared minus a 3x plus 2. Let's do a 2x squared. And then let's see, that'd be what? Plus x minus 2. And a 2x squared minus x minus 2. Okay, so I'm just going to go through 4 kind of basic problems here to hopefully kind of like reinforce what we should be looking for. So the main thing I want you to understand, whenever you're trying to factor a quadratic trinomial, the first two terms have to be, you can always break this down into a product of two terms, right? Now, the last two terms, the first two terms are going to give me a 2x squared. Okay, well, I think we can break that up into 2x times x, okay? Now, the last two terms are going to multiply to give us 2. So that can be 2 and a 1, or it could be a 1 and a 2. We don't really know the difference. Now, there's something else I want you to look at is the positive, okay? So you see this plus sign. So that when the last term is positive, what that means is when you're multiplying two numbers, they both have to be either both positive or both negative, right? Now, remember, the middle term, this 3x is also positive. Now, why is that important? Well, if I'm taking this plus this and I'm getting a positive number, that means both of these terms have to be positive. So that's going to be positive and that's a positive. Okay, now we need this. Did I do that wrong? I did do it wrong. Dang it. No, that's right. X plus 1. Yeah. Okay. But did I want that to be 2? X plus 1. Yeah. Okay, I did that right. Okay. Sorry, I was just trying to do some mental math for you guys. So, no, I didn't. I needed it to be 1. That's what I wanted these to be. Crap. I did do that wrong. Sorry about that. I was thinking, I meant it to be 1. Sorry. 1. Okay, there we go. All right. Right? Yeah. That's the math I was doing in my head. That's what I was expecting to do. So we have two numbers that multiply give us 1, right? Since they both have to be positive. Now, so therefore you can see that, well, we can just easily put a 1 and a 1 here and like we're kind of good to go, right? And you can see that again, my middle two terms, these two multiply here and add to give me a positive 3x. So in this case, we're basically dealing with the exact same thing, right? We have my last term is positive, okay? However, notice how my middle term now is negative, right? So if I'm adding two terms that's supposed to be negative, that means both of my factors now are going to be a negative. So we know I can break it up into this product. So 2x minus 1 and a x minus 1. Actually, I probably should have done x plus 2, but either way. Now in this last example, or the last two examples, notice how this is negative. Okay. So the reason why that's important is because now what we're basically doing is one of them is going to have to be positive. So one of them is going to be positive. One of them has to be negative. So which one is it going to be? Well, remember the sum of these two products is going to give me bx, right? The addition of these two products. Well, since the addition of the two products is going to be a positive number, that means the larger of my two products has to be positive. So therefore what I want, here is this to be a positive, like 2x times a positive 1, and then this to be a minus 1. And the reason why is because look at what these products are. That's a negative 2x, and that's a negative x, and that's a positive 2x. Well, 2x plus negative x, that's just going to be a positive x. And then in this case, you can kind of just, again, break it up the same way. Like 2x, and x, right? And what we're going to look at here is a -1 and a +1, so we know there. But now they're going to add it to a negative. So now I want this 2x here to be negative and that to be a positive. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm running a little bit late. Like I said, I was traveling today, so I'm like exhausted to the T. So I do apologize. But please, guys, if you do have questions that you want me to answer, I'm more than happy to take a look at your answers, all going into next week. And if you guys just visit brianmcclure.com/Q&A, I'll be more than happy to get to them. And then another student asked me about this question, which was like, how would you go ahead and solve that? You know, if you do it algebraically? I'm not aware of anything algebraically that you would be able to do. So what I would just typically do is just go ahead and, graph, set each of these both into a graph. Unfortunately, they don't have anything that they intersect at a, unfortunately, they don't have like an intersection point that is very nice. So therefore, I would definitely go ahead and use Desmos to go and graph those. So I just plug them into like a Desmos, or you could also use your graphing calculator, and then go ahead and find the intersection point from there. So, all right, guys. Well, there you go. Hopefully this was helpful, and yeah, I look forward to definitely hear a little bit more of you guys' comments as far as the tutoring, and checking in with you guys next week. All right, guys. I got to call this one early, but I will be back again next week. So if you guys do have questions, go ahead and check out brianmcclure.com/Q&A, as well as the Discord server. Cheers.